Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs, and I'm also a legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. So this is Step 2 Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we talk about money. Step 2 is the step that everyone hates, and that's the financial disclosures, and yes, you have to do it. I just want to waive those. No. The final ones, yes. The preliminary ones, no. Okay. Is that bubble fully burst? I just need you to know that. Have clear expectations. So let's talk about your retirement accounts. You've been working so hard. You've been working hard, working day and night. And your spouse is going to take half of your retirement account. And you're incensed. But you don't have a prenup. Okay, wait, hold on. We're just supposed to be talking about step 2, but this is my little plug for mediation. Y'alls, when you're worried about something like that, it's great to mediate because you can kind of trade things. You shouldn't trade debt for assets, though. Come on now. But if your retirement is what's really important to you, maybe you can trade it for another asset that's not as important to you. All right, but you do have to divide retirement accounts when you divorce unless you guys reach a different agreement. If there isn't a lot of money, if both people have been working and there's been working for around the same amount of time, they have comparable earnings, or they're relatively young in their 20s or 30s, a lot of times those situations, those couples will be like, you keep yours, I'll keep mine. Cool. Simple. But once you get involved with having a stay-at-home parent, or you've got a parent who, you've got kids with special needs, and so that parent maybe isn't stay-at-home, but they have to take a job that doesn't pay as much so that they can be available. Maybe they're only working a few hours a week because they've got to pick up their child from school, or they need to be available. Maybe, I've seen this a lot, maybe they're even actually working at the school as an instructional aide or some sort of employee, an hourly employee. So they're not even accumulating retirement. Or maybe it's a 30-year marriage. In those situations, people usually want a piece of retirement. Now, the thing to know, let's talk about how you divide them. I do need you to know that not all retirement is eligible for division. It is retirement earned from the date of marriage to the date of separation. That's it. So if you had a retirement account that you started before you were married, that before marriage portion is separate property. And if you're separated, and I don't mean legally separated, I want a divorce, I filled out divorce papers, or I've moved out of the house and we are not acting like we're married at all, I think you know what I mean by that, then that date of separation usually starts the accrual of separate property in your retirement account. But that chunk there, that's up for grabs. That's community property. So you've got different kinds of accounts. You have a 401k, you've got deferred comp plans from your employer, you've got pensions, you may have a 403b, you might have an IRA. In addition to that, they're divided a little bit differently. By far, the simplest one is the IRA. If all you have is IRAs, yay, lucky, just roll that sucker over. But everything else requires an extra step because it's divorce. Why wouldn't it require extra steps just to make things special for you? So one of the things you need to think about, especially, it's easy. It's really easy if you started and stopped a job, started a job at the beginning of the marriage and stopped it at the end or somewhere in the middle where it's very clear everything I've earned is community. It has the right to be split 50-50. Easy. But if you're in the situation I described, which a lot of people are, you're going to need somebody to value that, where they can look at what is actually the portion of retirement that should be divided, not the whole kit and caboodle. I'm taking a long look at you. Because if you can't do that yourself, listen, I'm a mediator. I know math, but I don't know a financial analyst math. This is when you want to meet with a certified divorce financial analyst. If you need some recommendations, I got you. They're called CDFAs. They know divorce really well. And they know money in divorce. And they can help you figure out what's community and what is separate. Oh my gosh, I love these folks. And they get swamped. I have colleagues I refer to, they're like, can you not send anybody else to me? My availability is 6 weeks out. Book these consultations early. These people, they have a lot of work that they do. So, but you need a professional to look at the value of these accounts. So one of the things you need, there's a legal consideration, and that is called a QDRO. It's Qualified Domestic Relations Order, QDRO, QDRO. You're going to need a QDRO usually if you have a deferred comp, 401k, 403b, a pension. I'm looking at you, first responders. I'm looking at you, teachers, city employees. You got a pension? Oh, that's not that simple. So with an IRA, you can just roll things over, but not the same for the others. And you have to be really careful in how you address this so that you don't, unless you're at retirement age, so that you don't incur taxes on it. You want to be able to move it into another retirement account. So you're going to need this piece of paperwork to complete that process. This happens after the divorce. After the divorce, you have to take your paperwork to a QDRO attorney or a legal document assistant who can do QDROs. You have to take your divorce decree to them so that they can draft that. And then you take that paperwork and you send it to the plan administrator, whoever is in charge of that plan. So if it's, somebody in HR and they send it to somebody else, whoever is the plan administrator. If you have a pension, if you have a 401k, if you have these things, nobody is surprised by divorce. Call them. I'm going through a divorce. What the heck can I do? Who do I call? What do I send a QDRO to? They will tell you. They're not going to be scrambling like, oh my gosh, I don't know. They know. They got a number on speed dial. Don't worry. Call them. Figure out who you need to contact. You're probably going to need, like I said, an attorney, or unless you know an LDA who does that type of work. So you want to be able to have something, people want things 50-50, but 50-50 doesn't mean it's equitable or fair, so think about your situation. Like I said earlier, you might want to be trading things back and forth. So you need to fully disclose all of the retirement that you have. It's really hard to throw out a divorce decree, but if it's found out that you were lying, that you committed fraud, you might have to redo the whole thing. You also want to consider, if you have attorneys and you're not mediating, negotiating that agreement outside of court or going to mediation and having a conversation with your spouse, a facilitated conversation with your spouse of how these accounts can be divided, what percentage of what. This is another reason why you want to talk to a CDFA, because they can help you think through the tax implications and complications that come with dividing a retirement account. This is why you don't want to just cash out a 401k unless you're in retirement age. The tax hit is too huge. Then, as you are going through your divorce, and this is what I see a lot of times people exchange cash because they really need this retirement, because maybe they haven't planned anything for the retirement. So as you're walking through this divorce, I need you to stay focused on the future, because you're in great health now, and I hope, knock on wood, you stay in great health. But I need you to have money in case. I need you to have some sort of cushion for your retirement, okay? Because you're not going to want to work forever either. I need you to have money so that interest can build and start accruing. You can start accruing that interest and having things compound. Okay? So here are some mistakes to avoid as you go through this process with your retirement accounts. Ignoring the QDRO. Do not ignore that QDRO. Oh, it's been a few years. What am I supposed to do now? oh, I got divorced like 20 years ago, and now I'm ready to retire. My spouse, I kid you not, and my spouse is ready to retire. And what are we supposed to do? What? I need what? How come I'm not getting their retirement? Please, please, please don't be that person. But you're listening to this, so you're not going to be that person. You're going to get your divorce. You're going to shell out the money because your future self will thank you. You might not have money right now, but you can borrow money. You can wait a month or two, save up the money, go hire a QDRO attorney, get that bad boy. Get that QDRO and get it turned in. Don't neglect this step. Don't forget this step. Okay? Anything can happen. Don't neglect this step. This is really, really important. So take care of that QDRO. The divorce decree is not enough. Okay, I think I made my point clear. Like I said, think about tax consequences. Then, for all of your accounts, once your divorce is final, please update your beneficiaries. I don't need you to die and them inherit everything. Change the beneficiaries on your life insurance policy. If your employer has taken a life insurance policy out on you, change the beneficiaries on bank accounts and all these other things, on retirement, change them. Change them. Unless, there are some people who are like, no, we have children. We are going to keep one another as beneficiaries because this is for our kids. I applaud you. Okay? That is a decision made with eyes wide open. It was not a decision made by default. So if you want to keep your former spouse as a beneficiary, do it. But do it on purpose. Don't do it on accident. And then the last mistake is not seeking professional advice. Please go speak with the CDFA, go speak with the QDRO attorney, get that paperwork done, get advice so that you can negotiate knowing what your rights are, knowing what you may or may not be entitled to, knowing what you do or don't want to give up. People give up stuff all the time that they're entitled to, but they do it under the idea that they know. They're not blind. They're not in the dark. There isn't fraud committed. They're fully aware of their rights and they're choosing something different. That's fine, but you need to have professional advice before you do something like that. Please don't worry about retirement accounts. Please don't worry. I need you to have your eyes wide open when it comes to this, but conversations with your spouse, conversations with professionals, mediating this issue can really, really help you. Okay, guys, have a great day. See you soon.